The Silent Language, Episode 8, The Confrontation. Welcome back to The Silent Language. I'm Roger Warstone. You've done the painful, exhausting work. You trusted your intuition in Episode 1, observed the shifts in communication and routine in Episodes 2 and 3, processed the confusing physical and emotional signals of Episode 4 and 5, ruled out the critical false trails in Episode 6, and if necessary, gather the undeniable digital and financial evidence in Episode 7. You have moved beyond suspicion. You now possess the knowledge. Now comes the conversation that changes everything, the confrontation. Let me be absolutely clear about what this episode is and what it's not. This is not a guide on how to launch a vicious attack. This is not about winning an argument or delivering a theatrical gotcha moment. This is about strategy, clarity, and control. This confrontation is the ultimate act of self respect. It is the moment you draw a firm line in the sand and demand reality, transparency, and honesty from the person who has been living a lie. Your primary goal is singular: to secure the truth and to establish definitive, non negotiable boundaries for your immediate safety and future. You are seeking disclosure, not reconciliation, at least not yet. Reconciliation, if it ever happens, is a long, arduous process that begins after the truth is on the table, not during the moment of discovery. The pain you are carrying, the burden of their secret is immense. It warps your perception of reality. The confrontation is the necessary surgery required to remove the cancer of secrecy. We are going to break down this high stakes event into four essential, actionable steps: preparation, timing, and setting, communication strategy, and crisis response. You must commit to these steps to maintain your composure and your dignity. This segment is the preparation before confrontation. Do not confront your partner the moment you find the evidence, no matter how overwhelming the urge is. That moment is fueled by shock and adrenaline, and shock is a poor strategist. You must cool down and execute your pre-game plan. This preparation phase is about protecting your evidence, your emotions, and your stability. Internal preparation, cooling the fire. First one, seek immediate disclosure to a safe third party. Before you speak to the betrayer, you must speak the truth to a safe, trusted listener, a therapist, a close friend, or a counselor. Verbally articulating the discovery drains some of the toxic charge from the secret and prevents you from exploding during the confrontation. You need to offload the initial shock so you can enter the conversation focused and composed. The second one, define your non negotiables. You must know what you are willing to accept before you hear their excuses. Write down a list of essential immediate requirements. For example, total no contact. They must agree to block the affair partner on all platforms immediately, change their phone number if necessary, and swear to absolutely no communication. Example two, full transparency. They must agree to give you temporary, unfettered access to all digital accounts, phone, email, social media, for a period of time. Example three, professional help. They must agree to schedule an immediate appointment for individual and or couples therapy. If they cannot agree to this non-negotiables, you already know your answer. The why now test. Ask yourself why you are confronting them now. Is it foreclosure? To force their hand? If the answer is purely to inflict pain or to satisfy a momentary rage, weight. The confrontation should be motivated by the need for clarity and path forward, even if the path is separation. Now, the external preparation, securing your reality. The first one, protecting and duplicating evidence. As we discussed in episode 7, the moment they know, they will attempt to erase the paper trail. Print out screenshots, export email chains, download call logs, and save them to a secure cloud drive that they do not have access to. Do not rely on evidence stored only on your shared home computer or your phone. The moment you confront them, the phone may become inaccessible or the data deleted. The second one is the financial review and safety. Before the confrontation, review your joint accounts. Note any large withdrawals, new cards, or suspicious transactions. If you fear financial sabotage, consult with a lawyer or a financial advisor before the conversation to understand your rights regarding freezing accounts or securing necessary funds. A confrontation often escalates to financial warfare. Be protected. And the third one, logistical safety. If you have children, ensure they are not home or elsewhere for the day and evening. If you fear a violent or explosive reaction, arrange to have a friend on standby nearby or conduct the conversations in a safe public space, or ideally, the office of a trusted counselor. Your physical and psychological safety is paramount. This segment is the timing and setting. The setting dictates the atmosphere. You must choose a time and location that minimizes outside interference and maximizes their focus and sobriety. Choose a time with no exit. Never confront them 5 minutes before they need to leave to work, right before they are due to pick up the kids, or late at night when fatigue is high. You need several hours of uninterrupted time. A weekend afternoon is often the best choice. This ensures neither party can use a time constraint as an excuse to shut down the conversation. Sober and clear. Ensure both you and your partner are sober. Alcohol or drugs will only lead to volatility, evasion, and memory issues later. You need a clear headed conversation, even if it's painful. And do not just bring it on them. This gives them grounds to claim ambush and derail the conversation instead of calmly approaching them with a serious signal. For example, I have noticed a number of profound changes in our relationship over the last few months, and I have found information that requires us to have a serious private conversation. We need to set aside the entire evening. This sets the tone for gravity and forces them to mentally prepare for the weight of the discussion. The ideal setting. While a public place might feel safe, a confrontation is almost impossible to manage effectively with witnesses. Use your home, but in a neutral space, not the bedroom or the kitchen. The critical rule, no interruptions. Turn off your phones, send the children away, and lock the door if necessary. Never, ever have this conversation in a car. It restricts movement, forces confinement, and is physically dangerous if the conversation becomes heated. If possible, sit across from them at a neutral table rather than side by side on a sofa. This creates a psychological distance that reinforces the seriousness and formality of the conversation. You are conducting an inquiry, not cuddling. This segment is the communication strategy. This is the phase that requires the greatest discipline. Your words are your tools. Use them to pry open the truth, not to unleash fury. The instant is to use your statement. You betrayed me. You lied. This instantly triggers the listener's defense mechanism. You must begin by describing the world as you see it and as you feel it, using your observations as evidence. State the observations, then the impact. Start with specific, verifiable behaviors you have observed from episodes 1 through 5 and connect them to your emotional experience. This is poor. You are always mad at me because you feel guilty. Effective. I have noticed that for the last 2 months, you have been highly critical of my actions and short temper with the children. When that happens, I feel confused and deeply unsafe in my own home. And I'll introduce the evidence back to reality. Only once they understand the emotional cost of their behavior do you introduce your evidence, but still through your feelings. A poor way to say it is, I saw the text on your phone, you're cheating. You don't want to say that. Effectively, you want to say, the emotional distance I have been feeling led me to look for answers, and I found evidence. Pause, hold eye contact. That confirms you have been having an affair with. Now, name if known or simply another person. I saw the financial transactions for the hotel and the new text messages. And now you ask directly open ended questions. The aim is to disclosure, not a simple yes or no. Open ended questions force them to narrate and give you more information. Don't ask, did you sleep with her? That's easy to deny. Ask, when did the relationship with this person actually begin? And what led you to believe it was necessary to hide it? The most common responses to being caught are not admission and apology, but denial, deflection, and psychological tactic known as DARVO, denied attacks, reverse victim, deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender. Let's start off with deny. They will try to deny the truth even in the face of overwhelming evidence. Your strategy, stay calm. Do not engage in a yelling match. Simply state the facts. I hear your denial, but the hotel receipt is here. Place the evidence calmly on the table. I need you to be honest with me. And then the attack. They will try to attack your character or your behavior. You were too busy to notice. If you had paid attention to me, this wouldn't have happened. And now your strategy. This is the critical moment to maintain focus. Gently but firmly interrupt. I understand you are upset, but we're discussing your actions and your secret right now. We can discuss our marital issues later, but those issues do not justify deceit. Do not let them turn the tables. Reverse victim and offender. They will suddenly burst into tears claiming they are the victim of a terrible marriage and you are now the cruel aggressor for discovering it. Your strategy would be acknowledge the emotion without accepting the blame. I can see this is painful for you and it's painful for me, but your pain is a result of your choices. The only thing I'm asking for is the complete truth. This segment is handling the immediate aftermath. The conversation is almost over. Whether they admit or continue to deny it, you must now move immediately to setting your conditions for the next 24 hours. Relief that they admitted it should not lead to immediate forgiving comfort. You are in a crisis. You must issue non negotiable mandates. Start off with the first one, the no contact mandate, immediate and total. This is the first and most vital condition for any discussion offering conciliation. They must cut off all contact with the affair partner, block, delete, change numbers, and send a final clear message stating the relationship is over. You must verify this is done immediately. The space mandate. Do not allow them to spend the night as if nothing happened. You need time and they need to feel the immediate consequences of their actions. State your need for space. I need 24 hours to process this. You may sleep in the guest room or you need to find a place to stay tonight. We will resume this conversation on tomorrow at 10 a.m. This boundary prevents them from minimizing the trauma. I wouldn't let them sleep anywhere else, somewhere inside the house. Or you should take the couch and let them sleep in the room. The information mandate. State that the full transparency is not a condition of moving forward. I need you to tell me everything when, where, and with whom. I will not be able to trust you again until I have the full, painful truth. If they still deny it, the boundary mandate, basically. If you have a solid proof and they still look you into the eye and lie, you must move to action, not just words. State the financial evidence you have and declare your immediate legal boundary. The financial evidence confirms my findings. Since you are not being honest, I'm required to assume the worst. I will be speaking to an attorney tomorrow to protect my financial stability. This is often a huge wake up call. If the line continues, you must enforce the boundary that shows you are serious. Since you cannot be honest with me, I cannot live with you. I need you to leave the house for the night, or I will. I need time to think. Do not threaten action you are not prepared to take. This must be real. No matter what happens, admission, denial, crying, anger, you cannot, under any circumstances, try to fix the relationship in a single day. The damage took months, maybe years to accumulate. You are done for the day. You have achieved your goal of getting the truth or confirming the deception. Now you need to focus on self care. This segment is the closing. You did it. You walked into the fire and you emerged with the truth. That is an act of incredible bravery and strength. The confrontation is over, but the aftermath is just beginning. In the hours and days ahead, you will cycle through intense, often debilitating emotions, shock, anger, grief, and sometimes a strange sense of clarity. You must prioritize your personal well being. In episode 9, Beyond Discovery, First Steps Towards Healing, Staying, or Leaving, we will focus entirely on the first 90 days following the confrontation. We will cover the critical importance of mandatory no contact with the third party now to manage the acute emotional trauma you're experiencing and the vital resources you need to determine your next chapter. Whether that means healing the marriage through recovery or beginning the difficult process of legal and emotional separation. Thank you for joining me, Roger Warstone, on the silent language. Take a deep breath. You are safe. You have the truth. Now we begin to heal. Thank you for listening to these chapters. Now I'm going to talk to you about my company, Warstone Detective Agency. When you need answers, you need the absolute best. For years, the residents and businesses of Philadelphia and the entire state of Pennsylvania have voted Warstone Detective Agency as the premier name in discretion and results. Our reputation is built on foundation of professional law enforcement, experience, and unwavering commitment to our clients. From the most sensitive domestic matters to complex corporate fraud and security needs, we deliver the definitive information you need to move forward. Our core investigative services include discrete surveillance, criminal and fraud investigations, missing persons and locates, domestic affairs, which include infidelity, matrimonial, or divorce, employee interviews, international investigations. We are the gold standard for private investigations and security in Pennsylvania. Don't settle for less than the best. Call Warstone today for a confidential consultation. 215 326 9199. Thank you. See you next time.